Hey, I hope you've been moved and inspired, touched by the faith journeys and testimonies of our staff. One of the cool things about working at a church is you know that you are serving and working alongside other believers, and you can talk about God and faith anytime you want. And I bet you kind of would expect us to do that, which we do. Um, but you don't always get to go as in depth and, kind of behind the scenes in people's lives as they have willingly shared. And so I want to thank them for their openness, their willingness. It's not easy to record yourself and sometimes reveal challenging and tough times. And I want to throw out invitation to you if you just kind of want to practice sharing your story even publicly like this. Every Christian should be ready to give an account of their own faith. You never know when someone's going to ask, why, how did you become a Christian, right? We got to be ready to talk about that. If you have a particularly, important story or time in your life where faith helped you get through that and helped shape you where you are, let's hear it. We love these kinds of stories. They're impactful. And so I'm going to share a portion of mine that I've shared in the pulpit before, but it's hard to remember what was said last Sunday, much less many, many Sundays ago. So, I was born and raised a cradle Presbyterian. I was actually confirmed twice, so maybe that's why I ended up a pastor. No, we were at one church. I was confirmed after sixth grade, and then that youth group kind of dissolved, and so we switched churches. Guess what? A friend invited us to Preston Hollow in Dallas, and they do confirmation in ninth grade. So that's the year we moved over. So went through that again. Was really involved with youth group, summer conferences, and camps. In college, I went to Austin College in Sherman, Texas. Even though my blood runs burnt orange, I'm technically a kangaroo on a piece of paper that hangs in my office. And there, they have a group of, it's called like a mobile youth ministry group called the Activators, So I was part of that. I kind of learned how to do some music leadership and small group leadership. I stayed involved at places like Mo Ranch, and I'd go down and be a small group leader or a music leader or anything, just to go down there and hang out. And I had a couple of little youth director gigs part-time, but I never really thought I was doing ministry. I didn't realize it. It was just sort of, it felt natural until kind of maybe approaching my senior year. It kind of like hit me. It's like, wow, okay, this isn't just fun or like a hobby or an interest. Like I'm actually, this is ministry. And it was in college that I sort of claimed Presbyterianism for myself. It wasn't just the church that my family always went to. I really appreciated, the freedom to think and use our brains, think critically, ask hard questions, doubt. And through all that, I experienced tremendous growth. And so I really always appreciated that. I mean, that goes back to confirmation in sixth grade, where that was the first time I sort of had the chance to ask hard questions. And that just kept going. And so, I sort of claimed that as my own. I was a Presbyterian, not just because my parents always went to a Presbyterian church. And then it was the summer. So I started off pre-med, like everyone does at Austin College, like 60-something% start pre-med, this many finish it. So I lasted about 5 months. So if you ever need a really good second opinion on something medical, I've got that in my back pocket. Always comes in handy. I had switched from pre-med to piano. My dad was thrilled about that. So I was on track for a music degree, and I was going to pursue music history as a master's. And what do you do with that? Well, you teach, but I still love music history. Anyways, that's what I was going to do. Summer before senior year of college, I'm down at my ranch. I'm leading a small group. I've driven my car to my little room where we're setting up one of the barn rooms, and I'm furiously getting supplies ready. And this adult, she was a older female sponsor. I don't know her name, but I don't know what she looks like. Don't know what she sounded like. she just stopped and she said, "Have you ever thought about going to seminary?" And I said, "Nope." And I kept going and kept going. And I don't know if she said anything else after that, because I was busy. And that fall, listen to this kind of connection, right? One of my best friends was dating the stepdaughter of the president of Austin Seminary, and she really recruited us to go down there for a visit, a preview weekend. And I went down there, and the way I describe it is I kind of showed up with like 1,000 unarticulated questions in my heart. And by the time the weekend was over, they were answered. I knew that's where I was supposed to go. So I switched majors going in my senior year. All worked out. So graduated in 4 years. Hallelujah. So fast forward a lot. The part I want to get to is my first call was as an associate pastor for youth in Birmingham. And it was during that time I really sensed a call to military chaplaincy. And I was in the process. I had got my denominational endorsement. I was doing all the paperwork and redoing it because they always lose it. And I was talking with churches that would allow me to serve as a pastor, but also in the Army Reserves. And this was kind of a busy time for the Army, 2006, 2007. And churches were like, "No, we like you, but we know as soon as you're eligible, they're going to call you up and you'll be deployed for 18 months." And but I stuck with it. I was like, either there's going to be a church that does this, or I'm just going to go active duty. And so there was one church that said, "Okay, we'll give this a shot." And that was First Pres in Greenville, Texas. So I was excited to get back to Texas. It wasn't too long after that I sort of rediscovered that I still had asthma. And that immediately, the Army can't use you if you have asthma. And I don't blame them. You become a pretty big liability. And so that ended that part of my faith journey, or at least I thought. It's like, what am I doing now? I'm in Greenville, Texas, because this is the one place that God, you opened this door to make this happen. This is what you had called me to do. And I believed that with my heart. And now I look back and I just look at it as that was the way God got me where he wanted me. And the people I got to work with and the things we got to achieve together in Greenville were awesome. It's there that one of my elders' wives is second cousins with Chelsea. We were introduced. Boom, so find my wife, get married, have 2 children. And so all of that came about through what I thought was a door slammed in my face. But it's been amazing to look back and see how at different times in my life where I think I'm going one way and then, hey, detour, at least what I think is a detour from my plan, gets me onto God's plan. And that was just huge in my life. And so that's helped me when I face disappointment or discouragement, is just that it gives me hope that God is perhaps redeeming and reconciling something out of what I'm perceiving as a big mess. And he continues to do that all the time. And I hope you have the discernment to see that in your own life. So that's a long ramble. I should have that a bit more concisely tightened up. But I love telling that story. And again, I just hope that shares a little bit about my life and my background that maybe you knew or didn't know or forgot. And anyways, as we get into this Sunday, I hope to see you in church if you're able to come. If not, we'll have our online recording going out. And just keep encouraging everyone when you're able and ready to get vaccinated. And it's been great seeing people come back to church. So I would love to see y'all soon. Have a great weekend. Change your clocks. And anyways, God bless you. Talk to you soon.